Hey everyone, in this video I'll be going over MongoDB, and today we'll be building a simple CRUD application using MongoDB, and we will be using Express for the server and React for the front end, and this is how our app is going to be looking like. So it'll be a simple notes app where we will be connecting to the database first, and we'll be able to add notes. Let's do subscribe to Samir. And we'll be able to complete it, and this will all be saved in database. So if we refresh the page, as you can see, the data will persist and we can delete it. So this is just a simple CRUD app where we create, read, update, and delete, and today we'll be building this using MongoDB, Express, and React. So let's get started. So in an empty folder inside of VS Code I have opened up, we're going to get our React client ready and the Express server ready with everything that we need. So for our React, let's do npm create v@latest, call this the client, React, and JavaScript. And I'm going to open a new terminal, and here we're going to do mkdir server, open the server, and we can cd into the server, and we'll do npm init-y to initialize this as a node package. And in the server, we're also going to touch server.js. And we're going to install, so we'll do npm install nodemon. So nodemon will just let us run our Express server smoothly. We're going to install Express, cores, and mongoose. Great, so while that's installing, in our package.json in the server, under the script here, we can do dev, and we will do nodemon server.js. Great. Now we can save this and close that. Open the server and open app.jsx. And our app.jsx should be running. So we can close the terminal, and first we're going to program our front end, and then after that we're going to move on to our backend where we will connect with MongoDB and also set up all of our routes. Alright, so I have opened up the browser for our React app, and what we can do is first we can delete everything here and set up a boilerplate code, and we can import use state and use effect, and let's make our states first. So what we can do is okay, so we can make notes, so we'll do const notes and set notes. And then we can do text. So we can actually make each node. And the basic structure for our front end is going to be, we're going to have, what we're going to do first is make all the functions that we need to make. And then we will set up the HTML. And then we will fill in those functions. And afterwards we can program the server, and then we'll be done. So first let's make one to fetch the nodes. Great. Now we can make a use effect which will run every time we refresh the page, so we can actually fetch each node. Whoops, let me fix this here. And there we go, empty there, and then fetch nodes. Great. Now we can just make two very simple asynchronous functions. They will be to create a new node, to delete a new node, and toggle a node. So toggle meaning check it off or check it on. So we'll do const create and all of these you'll notice are going to be asynchronous because we're fetching from an API or a database, and that is, well, most of the time asynchronous. So and we will do toggle. Great. And I guess now what we can do is just work on the HTML, and then afterwards we're going to fill in these functions. And the delete and the toggle, they're actually going to be pretty similar. They're not going to be too different. So now for the HTML, let's just have a div, and let's have an h1 called notes. Hold on. There we go. First, are we running this? Oh, it's supposed to be on 74, my bad. There we go. So it'll be notes, and let's have an input. The type will be text. On change, we'll have an event which will just set text to be e.target.value. And let's have a button which on click we will create a note. And in here, let's just do add. Great. Now let's have an unordered list to list all of the notes. So we're going to map notes. We'll do notes.map. So this will be a note. There we go. Whoops. This is supposed to be a like that. Okay. Hold on. I think I did something wrong. So it's supposed to be notes.map, and in here we're going to have a function there. There we go. And in here we're going to have a list, and the key to the list is going to be n._id. The reason it's underscore is because that's how MongoDB does it. They make every ID an underscore. And in here let's have a span to show the note. So here we'll do n.todo, because that's what we'll call it. Let's have a button, and on click we will make a function which will toggle the note, and we're going to pass in the note ID. And in this button, let's have let's do n.complete. So if it's completed, then we will then we're going to display a check mark. So I've actually got a copy and paste of it here. There we go. Else we will display a check mark, which I've also got here. Great. Now that we've got that, let's have a button which will be used to delete the note. We will delete the note, and the note will be of this ID. There we go. And let's just have the trash emoji, which I've also got copied here. There we go. So now we can save that, and now we can begin working on the functions. So let's work on the delete and the toggle, since that's going to be pretty similar to each other. So delete is just await fetch. Oh, actually, we're gonna need the ID first. So we're gonna need the ID for, yeah. So for these two. All right. Now it's going to be await fetch 8080 slash slash delete slash, and it'll be the ID here. This is supposed to be a tilde. I mean, not a tilde, whatever you call that thing. Great. And then after we delete it, we're gonna fetch the notes. So we're gonna fetch the new notes that it makes, and the toggle is also the exact same as this. So we can paste that there. Instead of delete, it is just slash toggle. All right, we can save that, and we're done with the deleting and the toggling. Now we just need to program the creating. So this is also pretty simple. So first, let's actually check if we have any text. We're just going to return nothing, and we're gonna do await fetch. It'll be yo, and in there we're gonna add the method of post, the headers, hold on, content dash type is going to be application/JSON. That's all we need. And we're going to need a body. And in the body, we're going to send a JSONify or a JSON and a stringify. And we're going to send the to-do being the text. And after we've got that, I guess what we can do is we can just set the text to be nothing. And then we can fetch notes. So once in the backend, once we actually create the note, we're just going to fetch the new notes that it makes, so we can save that. Alright, so we are done with the front end and we can begin programming the backend server. So let's get started. So in our server, let's just import Express, Mongoose, and cores. So there we go. Require cores and great. Now we can initialize our app and we can set up cores and we can set up express.json, so this way we can receive and do stuff with JSON that we get in our server. Great. Now to connect the actual Mongo database, we'll do mongoose.connect. Now this is going to be some pretty long code, so it's not really long, but it's pretty like weird. So it's MongoDB : / localhost, and this is the port that Mongo database runs on. It is 27017, and after that, just name your server or the database. So I'll just name it YouTube YT tutorial. Hold on. YT. Great. Now you should probably name it something similar to Notes app, so when you're studying this or when you're building this yourself, you can know what you're going to do. So after this, we can make our schema for the database. So note schema is new mongoose.schema. It's mongoose.schema, and in here we're going to set the to-do to be a string, and the completed the type is going to be a boolean, and we can set the default to be false. Great. And after this, we can initialize a new note. So we'll do const note is equal to mongoose.model, and this will be the note model, and we will use the note schema that we've made. Great. Now we can actually start working on the routes. So let's just make the routes first. So we'll do app.get. Let me make this a bit bigger for you guys. There we go. So it'll be app.get. This is going to be /notes. So this way we can fetch all the notes. And we will do app.post. This will be to make new note. And one way to delete. And we'll receive an ID. And the other one will be to toggle. So and we're also going to get an ID for that. And let's just run the app down here. So we'll do app.listen port 8080, and we can just console.log. Great. Now we can save this, and I'm actually going to run the app. So there we go. It should print server started on port 8080, so we can just close our terminal and we can begin programming the notes, create, delete, and toggle routes. So let's do notes first, since this is the easiest. It's just a simple get request from the database. So we'll just do const notes is equal to await note.find. dot sort, dot sort, and we're gonna sort this by a decrementing ID. There we go. And then we can do we can send back the notes with some JSON. Great. Now for the create, it's a bit longer, but it's like the same concept basically. So we're gonna make a new note, and we'll set the to-do to be request.body.todo, so whatever we get from the front end. And then we will do await note.save, so we can save the database, and then we will respond back with true for the success. And the deleting is also pretty much the same thing, except it's a bit backwards, so it's just await note.find by ID and delete. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna set the ID to be request.params.id, and then we will just respond back with some success true. Great. And for the toggle, pretty much the same process again. The toggle is just hold on a minute, it's const note is equal to await note dot find by ID, and then we're gonna do note dot completed is equal to the opposite of note dot completed, so it's opposite of what it was currently set as. And then we're going to set it, or save it, sorry, and then we're going to respond back with true. Great. Now we can save this, and in our website, let's actually make the inspect here, so just in case we have any errors, refresh the page. There we go. So let's try something. Let's just say hello, or let's just do the laundry. I'm pretty sure I spelled that wrong, but whatever. All right, so look, it works, and we can try refreshing. What about delete? Yep, that works too. All right, so let's just try another one. Let's do subscribe to Samir. I think I spelled that wrong too. Okay, whatever. Yep, it works. All right, so this is just a simple CRUD application using MongoDB, React, and Express. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.